have all seen these videos from Sora 2, and while being very impressive, they are also very concerning. As a neuroscientist, this made me stop and think about what it means to be human in our times and how we could turn this crisis into something positive. Hi there, I'm a vet, a neuroscientist, and an author of several neuroscience studies. On this channel, I explore how the brain works and decode its mysteries. But most importantly, I like to explore how these facts affect our lives. So if this sounds like something right up your alley, well, you know what to do. Let's start with art. Recently, Taylor Swift released an album, and her new videos had signs of being generated with AI. Also, there is a new actress in town, Tilly Norwood. Not a big deal, you might think. Another actress. Until you find out she is AI generated and not a real human. And of course, let us not forget the Ghibli Studio scandal, where ChatGPT just stripped off their style and let everyone reproduce it in seconds, without the artist's permission, I might add. And these are just highlight stories that rise to the top, but in the background there are many others of how AI generated content is copying actual artists and putting them out of a job. And at the core of it all, we can all understand why this is happening. It is efficient, it's cheap, but it is also worth asking, are efficiency and cost the root of our values? Is art really just about the final product? Let's be honest, we all bitched about a piece of art that sold for millions. At least I did. And the answer defending the art is that it is not just about the piece of art, but it is about what the artist tried to convey and their process. I don't know. I always thought with every source of creative expression, there is a struggle and growth. Somehow when you create something, you're putting a piece of yourself out there, which is somewhat sacred. But as we optimize for speed and profit, we're outsourcing the act of creation. So somehow outsourcing creative processes to AI feels as if we are skipping the whole journey and arrive immediately at the destination. And what's the saying again? Journey before destination? And here's what worries me. If we stop creating, what happens to us and to our brains? Creativity is a way to process emotions and explore our identity. Creativity and art help us reach inside of ourselves to the very corners that are hard to make sense of otherwise. And at least, in my opinion, losing this is a human developmental problem. But yeah, the next argument hits quite home for me, because it is about science and information. This issue reminds me a lot of the Three-Body Problem book trilogy, where humans were advancing their scientific knowledge at an accelerated rate, only to find out later that it was all on completely fabricated information. And I find that our current situation, well, in some ways it is the same. Nowadays, the internet is already flooded with AI-generated content and bots. And recently claims are that there are people out there intentionally generating and disseminating misinformation all over the internet. And this is done in order to change the narrative that AI, like ChatGPT, puts through to whoever is asking the question. AI trains on this contaminated data, then feeds it back to us. It's a cycle that breaks down at its foundation, which is trust. And in scientific publishing, we're seeing something similar. There are growing concerns that more and more scientists are using AI to write papers. At surface level, this is not worrying, as there are many scientists out there whose first language is not English, and using AI to improve the writing is not such a bad thing, you might think. And with this, I agree. However, there are growing reports that there are complete papers being produced by AI, and also peer reviews are being done by algorithms. One concrete example is the term called vegetative electron microscopy, which started appearing in scientific literature recently. It's a completely made-up term. It is an AI hallucination which got picked up and cited by other AI systems. And this just shows how much peer review, the process a scientist holds so dearly, is quite vulnerable. This made-up term has escaped the authors, the reviewers, the editors, basically everyone in the whole process, who are meant to make sure that the science being reported is legit. As a neuroscientist, this situation worries me, because if we can't trust the source material? What can we build on? Personally, this also highlights the same issue as the argument before, and that is that the metric that matters has become having more publications, not the rigor behind it. So in order for us to get more publications, we are sacrificing the quality. In a couple of years' time, well, I wonder, would we still have science or just, well, yeah, the appearance of it? Star Trek is based on a future where people do not need to work anymore for survival, and they can now dedicate their life to the pursuit of whatever they want. Some people become part of the Starfleet, where they can explore the galaxy and life's unknowns. Is this actually our future? Or another one? AI was supposed to be a productivity tool, to help us do more in less time. And it does, and then some. But here's the catch. This tool is very efficient, and we are seeing the effects of it in all industries that run on brain work. It seems that companies are cutting headcount while maintaining the same output. People are being replaced by algorithms, and in fact, the job market is rather tough at the moment. Now, we have tied so much of our identity and survival to our work. What do you do? Is often the first question we ask when we meet someone new, other than what's your name, by the way. But if AI can do it cheaper and faster, what happens to our sense of purpose? What happens when self-worth is tied to a job that no longer exists? And mind you, you might tell me, but listen, AI cannot do blah 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 blah, which I can. But man, all I can tell you is this, that in a span of 2 years, AI went from this to this. And now you think that AI will not catch up with your little intricacies? Somehow, I think we need to ask ourselves, who are we beyond our productivity? So, here's my take. Like everything in life, a crisis can completely ruin you or become a turning point where better things come. But AI can do all of this and better. And if not today, then tomorrow. So in actuality, it is forcing us to confront ourselves with our being. It's taking away the things that we thought made us, like our job. And maybe at the same time, it is the gift hidden in the challenge. Maybe we need this crisis to figure out what really matters and what to retain in our lives. Because personally, creativity, critical thinking, and self-expression should not be outsourced, even, well, if we can. To be honest, I do not know what the future might bring, and I'm not pretending, so please take this with a pinch of salt. But maybe now that we lose the distractions that we have associated our identity with, maybe we can then figure out the activities that bring the joy back. And if you like this video, and you also wonder how universities are affected by AI, watch this video next. And with this, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. See you!